Hi there, this is Tarni Guidry, Smart Girl Health and Fitness, and I am going to talk to you a little bit about how I manage my time with my Beachbody business, how I've become a diamond coach, and I also work full time, and I have two kids, and I also teach PIO on the weekends. So I just wanted to give you a little rundown of my typical schedule and how much I work because a lot of people think that it takes a lot of time to be a Beachbody coach, but I want to tell you that it really doesn't. And so what I do is primarily I use Facebook to talk to my coaches and customers because you can do the groups and there's chat and there's the way to post. So Facebook is my primary thing that I post on for social media, but I also post on Instagram and a little bit of Pinterest and Twitter, but mostly Facebook. So what I've found is there's a couple programs that I use that help save me a lot of time. One of them is called Hootsuite. There's also the other one I use is called PageModo. And there's a few other ones you can use too, but those are the main ones that I use. And what I do is, like for example, my kids are watching a movie. So what I do is when they're watching a movie, which means that they're not paying attention to me. My son's 4.5 and my daughter's 12.5. And so there's often times when they're each watching their own movie or one of them's doing their homework or something. So I have maybe like an hour to myself or maybe 2 hours to myself, or sometimes I'll do this weekend mornings if I have time. So anyway, what I do is if I have some extra time, I schedule out my posts. I mostly use PageModo for content. So what I can do is if you go to pagemodo.com, pagemodo.com, and they actually have a thing where you can schedule out your posts. It'll find articles for me and post them, and I schedule them out. I set them up to post 3 or 4 times a day. Most of the time I post on my personal page, but I can also post on my like page, which is Smart Girl Fitness. And so I just schedule them out. And I also schedule out stuff to post through my Facebook, through the Facebook like page. And I schedule to post on Hootsuite. So like let's say I find a website with a whole bunch of quotes. So I'll set those all up to post through Hootsuite. One thing I've noticed about Hootsuite is that it doesn't post pictures. It'll just post the link, which is kind of weird, and I don't like that. So when I want to post a picture, I post it through PageModo because then I know it won't just give me the link of the picture. Hootsuite is great for just posting text. So I use that for posting text in my groups. So I schedule out all my posts for my groups. I schedule them out like like I do the 21-day fix. I schedule out all 21 days and it takes me maybe like an hour, if that. Just copy paste, or I can just type in the same thing and you just switch it up each day. And then I also, of course, check in there and post or ask questions. And so what I usually do, this is my typical day. I usually wake up, I'm kind of lazy. I go to bed late and I wake up late. So I could wake up earlier, but some days I wake up on my own at 6 in the morning, which is great, or 5:30 in the morning, great. Then if I have that extra time, then I will schedule out some posts for the day. But if I can't get out of bed until 7:30, which is sometimes that happens, then I will just do my workout, make my Shakeology. I like to get out the door by 9 in the morning because that's when I have to leave with my daughter. So I usually like to get my workout done in the morning. So then in the evening, so I'm at work doing work too. And I can look on my phone and see if I have messages on my phone. I have this thing called Messenger, so it'll show me if someone sends me a private message on Facebook, which is really great because most of the important stuff is sent on private message on Facebook. It's not sent as a comment. So I don't usually look at those comments and stuff unless I'm really bored and I have nothing else to do. But I definitely make sure to make my settings on my Facebook to be for my friends, and if I have anybody from my work or anyone that I don't want to know that I'm doing Beachbody, or like my boss is on my Facebook, so I put her as a restricted Facebook so she doesn't see that I'm posting all this Beachbody stuff. And I put stuff that's public that I don't care if she sees, like on the weekends. I mean, she knows I do Beachbody, but I don't want her seeing me post about Beachbody when I'm supposed to be working at my day job. So I schedule that out, but I schedule it out so that it's friends only. So, but I schedule out the other stuff on my like page. So you can figure out how whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people make everything public. Some people make just a few things public. I'm starting to make a little bit more things public, and of course I will more and more. And I spend a little bit of time at night talking to my coaches sometimes if there's a problem or if they have questions. So usually I'm checking in between 8 and 10 on my Facebook for messages. And that's usually when people start to write me and write messages, or I write to them. And usually when I try to start a conversation with someone, I'll usually say something like, hi, how's it going? Or your kids look so cute. Or how's work? How do you like your new job? Something like that I know that they've been going through, or hope you're feeling better if they've been sick. So just some kind of intro question, and they might write back to me and they might not. It's no big deal. You just keep writing to different people. I try to talk to at least 2 different people a day instead of the same 5 people all the time, so that you kind of expand your network a little bit. So when I first started as a Beachbody coach about a year ago, 15 months ago, I had only like maybe 300 friends on Facebook. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's huge. I can imagine having more friends than that. And of course, a lot of my new friends are Beachbody coaches too. But I've also expanded my network, so I have about 950, actually more than that. Yeah, I can't even keep track now, but it's around 950 friends on my Facebook. So I've increased by about 600 people in the last year that I've made connections with. So, 2 people a day. Sometimes I, make a lot of connections, and sometimes I don't. It just depends. Sometimes I go through phases where I talk to a whole bunch of people in one day, and sometimes I barely do the 2. So it's not going to always be exactly 2 people every day. Some days you might talk to 20 people. That's awesome. Some days you might only talk to 5 people. Some days you might talk to 2, but you want to make sure you have an average of 2 to 5 people a day that you talk to. And it can be totally new people. It can be following. And then also you want to also follow up with your customers, see how they're doing with whatever workout they bought from you or Shakeology. And then you also want to follow up with your coaches. So I try to check in with my coaches, try not to bug them too much, but at least once every 2-3 weeks at least. Once a week I'll say hi, how you doing, how's everything going. Sometimes I do. It just depends on the coach. Some need more than others. Some, so they definitely know how to get a hold of me too. So they know how to talk to me through Facebook usually, or message me, text me on my phone. But usually it's faster to get through to me on Facebook, because sometimes if you're driving or something, you can't text, or my phone's not with me all the time. So anyway, I spend about an hour in the morning and 2 hours at night working on my business or connecting with people on Facebook somehow, some way. And then I spend about 30 minutes working out, and I do about 30 minutes on personal development. So a lot of times you don't feel like reading, so you can listen to something. There's all kinds of audio you can listen to. Right now I'm doing a lot of Chalene Johnson because I got the Smart Success and Car Smart, so I'm doing a lot of that stuff. And I'm just doing it over and over and over again. And then sometimes I'll listen to Jim Rohn. I also read some books, like there's some other books about blogging or social media. So I like to dabble in a little bit of everything. And sometimes I do a group where we're all reading the same book and we have to do assignments, and that's called a push group. And so I did these things called Push to Emerald, Push to Diamond. I did those a couple times each, maybe 3 times each sometimes. And now I'm doing one called Elite Diamond training. We're not reading any particular book, but we have to report what book we're reading. So they expect us to already be reading something. So it's great to always have something that you're doing for your personal development. So the three things, the three vital behaviors of a coach are invite, invite, invite. So you want to invite people to either I invite people to my PIO classes or I invite people to my challenge group. Those are the two things I invite people to. Sometimes I do a clean eating challenge group that I do like for 5 days or something, and I invite people to that. So sometimes people message me, so that counts too. I count it, but sometimes that doesn't count, but I count it because I'm still talking to them and they're new. So yes, last night someone messaged me about my PIO class, and then today someone messaged me about my PIO class too. So I'm counting those people as new people that I'm talking to, even though it's not Beachbody. PIO is actually part of Beachbody now, and they're going to be selling videos, so that counts. So every little thing counts, and you don't have to always be posting about Beachbody. I also use my page moto to find some cool pictures, and I post those cool pictures, or I find some articles about working out, fitness, health and fitness, family and fitness, beauty stuff, any cool makeup things, or anything that I think is cool. I like to post, and of course, reposting cool stuff too. There's all kinds of pictures and memes, or whatever they call memes or memes, and there's some really cool stuff out there. So just depends on your time. Luckily, I have a lot of extra time, um, and my situation is different than any other people. So some people have a lot of time, some people don't. My kids are older, so they're not so demanding of my time. And I know that if I would have done this with a newborn baby or a younger baby, it would have been harder, but it's definitely possible. There's all kinds of coaches. I mean, there's pregnant coaches that are like 9 months pregnant, and they're star diamond coaches, and they still maintain everything. They're pregnant, they take a little bit of time off and they get right back into it and start being a coach again, doing all the things. So there's no excuse why you can't do this. I mean, there's some coaches that are really up there, really successful. They're lawyers. There's a lady that's a lawyer, and she's like a 5-star diamond, and she's been on the national coach calls and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing. I mean, I actually know about 5 different lawyers that are Beachbody coaches, and many of them are doing great. So it's not something that you can't do. It just depends on how much time you want to put into it. And I noticed that when they put their time in, they do a great job too. So any coach that is working full time, you just got to find the time, make the time if you want to do it. And what's awesome about this business is you can put in as much or as little time as you want. So if you want to do, this more, then you can do it more. If you don't, then you can take a break and just kind of coast. So if you want to grow, you got to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone each day, and that's what I'm doing with these videos. So I'm making these videos for my team, trying to tell them everything I know, just throw up many times so that they don't have to read it, they can actually hear me talking. So anyway, if you have any more questions about how to manage your time, just send me a message, or we can talk about it on the phone, or whatever works for you. You can do morning, lunchtime, check your messages at lunchtime, check them again at night. Usually I find between 4 and 6 people don't really respond because people are running around getting dinner and stuff like that. So usually between 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. is a better time to connect with people. So after their kids are done eating and they're all doing their own thing, then they can check in with their Facebook or whatever. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days to talk to people. That's okay. But if you just do a little bit each day, then you're going to make some progress. So it's not a marathon. It's like doing like little sprints. So you just do a little sprint here, a little sprint there, a little sprint there. Don't feel like you have to have 8 hours a day or 5 hours a day or even 3 hours a day. I'm doing 3 hours a day because I choose to, but if I wanted to do this for 30 minutes a day, I could, but of course it's going to take me longer to get where I want to get. So, you can definitely do more if you want. So it all depends on what you want to do. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.